Welcome back. I am your host, Camila, aka Sunshine. I am happy. This is Wednesday, December 22nd. Again, thank you for enjoying the show. I believe in 6 degrees of separation. You're one person away, one advice away, one help away from where you need to be in your destiny. I am so happy to have one more guest tonight, and I'm just waiting for him to come on. Uh, so I can hear you. I just can't see you.
Oh, let's see, what am I doing wrong here? All right. Uh, Video. Hey, can you see me now?
Yes. So while we're
Hello.
getting everything together, hello.
Hello.
My guest tonight comes by way of my friend, my big brother, Main Event. Just to let you know who our guest is, his name is Donald Givens Jr. from Linden, New Jersey. He comes from a historic sports family. He's a world-class musician who, with his band, Jazzy toured with some of the top acts of the 80s. He performed with Gloria Gaynor of I Will Survive, Major Harris, Love Won't Let Me Wait, Joe Baton, Latin Lover. Is it Tina?
Tana.
Tana Gardner
Yeah.
of the #1 hit Heartbeat in 1981. He also got a chance to back up and perform with many of the top acts of the 80s. For the past 20 years, he has played in the church, and his goal is now to jog across America to bring awareness to something he believes needs to be changed so that we can better our people. And this goal he will actually talk about shortly. And so I'm excited to have you on. And I'm glad that he's still in the land of the living. You just had surgery, right?
I had a minor surgery. I had a slip and fall, so I'm going through a series of shots. I had a herniated disc in my neck and my back, so I got a few more to go, but it's nothing major, nothing that's going to stop me from functioning.
So with your playing, what actual instruments do you play?
I play drums. I'm in my little studio now. I play a little bit of everything, but I'm a world class drummer, a percussionist. That's my main instrument. I play a little of this, a little of that. But percussion and drumming was my major at college.
Okay, so you were in for. So did you actually like do a drum line, or you was just in a?
No, well, actually, my band was so popular. I left the band to go to college, and the guys had a fit. Actually, I left college to come back to play with my band because we were extremely popular at that time and very young. But a lot of people were after us, so I left college to pursue my musical career. I still have to finish 2 years of my college degree, but I've been all over the world and done the music, been in the music industry on its highest level.
Wow. So do you feel that music changed your life?
Yes, music is something that most people can relate to. I'm a people person, and music music can be used for in a lot of ways. Nowadays, our music is not being used secularly. It's not being used in a positive way, and that's another mission of mine. As an elder now. I want to speak, and as an artist, as someone who has done it at the highest level, I want to speak on what I see now as an elder and what's effective. Well, for me, my art is being used to destroy our people, partly, and I know you see it, we see it, but nobody's speaking out. So from this time here, we're going to talk about the run that I want to do, and another passion of mine is to try to. It's time for cultural change. When you and I first talked, we talked about the village and bringing back a village mentality into our people. For me, doing this run, and I pray to God that I get a chance to do it. It's, because there's more to it than bringing awareness to our environment, how we live as a people in the inner city. But we'll get more into it, because I want to explain the run as we go. I want to explain why I'm doing. I'm sure you're going to ask me why I'm doing this. We can get more into it. I'm sorry if I get, because like I said, for me now, being an elder, I can't sit and a lot of people, 63 years old. A lot of people in my age group are retiring, or they're, settled in their lives, and they're not looking at what's going on with the generations behind them. I cannot do that. You understand? God has allowed me to continue to live. I'm extremely healthy for a 63-year-old, and I'm willing to sacrifice myself, my time, to do something that I believe can change the culture for our people.
You're also a fitness instructor, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
So
yes,
on your run, and what he's talking about is he wants to jog across America. And on this, what is the purpose, and how are people going to be able to benefit from this run?
Okay, if I get to do this my way, and if I get to do this with the vision that I have, the purpose of the run, I want to bring light to ghettos. And a lot of people will say, well, why do you want to, ghettos can't be changed, or why is that an issue? As we spoke about the village, our village across this country, particularly in the city villages, I have a landscaping business. I always use an analogy. If you plant seed in bad soil, you're going to grow weeds. Our environment, most of the troubles that our people are having in the inner cities, and why we can't expand as a people, is because of the environment. If you don't change the environment, you can't change the people. I have a philosophy that for instance, you're from Detroit. Detroit, Philly, here in North New Jersey, anywhere you go where there's an inner city. I believe in my heart that if white people lived in these areas of the country, they wouldn't be the way they are. I just believe it. And we're the ghettos have become a vicious cycle for our people. Like I said, if you keep planting seeds in bad soil, you're going to keep growing weeds. So it seems like we're stuck. We can't get out of that environment. We can't get the help from the government. So for me, I'm going to do this run. God willing, I get to do it. And how, well, the plan is hopefully I can get a sponsor. I would love for someone want to put a presentation together and go to Nike, for instance, and I'm going to need sponsorship. I'm going to need somebody. I really want somebody to sponsor this run, and I want people to know what I'm doing as I come across. How am I going to get the money? Years ago, I don't know if you're old enough to remember Live Aid. You remember Live Aid? No, Live Aid was it was they actually were calling it Feed the World. I don't know if you remember the song that Michael Jackson and all the stars did back
Yes.
in the day, Feed the World. The same concept. As I run across the country, how am we going to get the money? I want to promote this in the same way. This is, see, Camilla, this is a humanitarian mission. This is a humanitarian mission. We are Americans, you understand, and the neglect that, like I said, if we, I believe this in my heart, and I don't mean to sound racial, but I believe if we weren't Black people, these areas wouldn't be the way they are. So if the government's not going to do it, and we're obviously as a people, we can't do it. We don't have the finances. I want to bring attention to it. And as I go across the country, I want to do concerts. I want to get, I'm following the model of Live Aid. They got the money by bringing together some of the top acts in the world. And they went from, state to state doing concerts. So as I run across the country, for instance, once I get to Detroit, we'll get this, what was the Silver Dome or whatever, the biggest arenas in all the major cities. I want to get the biggest acts of today, all positive, biggest acts of secular and gospel for Sunday for these concerts. These are going to be fundraising concerts. So as I get to each major city across the country, we'll have these fundraising concerts. And I want to raise $1 billion. I want to raise $1 billion. And at the same time, bring awareness. Everybody knows that the ghettos are here, but we're not doing anything about it because our people, Camilla, has been dumbed down. We have been dumbed down to where now, just like with this drill music, this murder music that's going on with our kids, there's nothing normal about murder. Just like for me, it shouldn't be normal for people to live with garbage. I'm sure you still live in Detroit, right? So I'm sure when you go in the worst areas of Detroit, just like when I go to Newark, any major city here, and I mean Detroit, downtown Detroit is beautiful, but on the outskirts, and particularly where our people are, it's terrible. I mean, we literally live with garbage, and it shows you the mentality. It shows you where we are. See, I've done a lot of research. I've traveled around, and I've been wanting to do this for the past 10 years. But I've tried, and within that research, all you got to do is just look at people. Just like I said, go to the worst ghettos and just look, and you'll find people walking past garbage, and I mean, people doing normal things, walking the kids to school, and catching the bus to work. And, just normal stuff, and it's just walking past the garbage. And when we look at most Black areas, because these have become Black areas, they're horrible. And there's no way we can grow a strong future of people if we keep planting seeds in bad soil. So the goal of the run is to bring awareness to the fact that we have American people living in these conditions. And people are going to say, well, they don't care. They stay there. They don't care. Well, I believe most people will want to live in a beautiful, nice, clean environment, whether it's in an expensive, exclusive environment or a low-income environment. Everybody's not meant to be rich. Everybody's not meant to live an exclusive life. But nobody should live in garbage. I don't care if you're poor or whatever, So that's the key for me. Our people can't grow if we continue to live in the environment. I believe in my heart that if the issue is brought to light through this run, like I said, shining a light on it, because there's nothing new about ghettos. But what is becoming a problem is, like I said, we're in a vicious cycle of now. Because I'm not talking from just talking. I've I've done my research. I've gone out in the street. I've marched with Al Sharpton. I've marched with Roscoe Rocker, the mayor of Newark, before he was even the mayor of Newark, in his town, to stop the shooting and violence. Um, and like I said, me being a musician, I'm in my studio now. I'm very, I do my research, and I'm very aware of what's going on with the youth and the music that they're listening to. And Malcolm X said it years ago, the media, music is a part of the media. The media is being used, and it has always been used, to suppress our people. Now it's being used through music to not just suppress us, to murder us. Because this drill thing, this thing, this gang thing, and this whole thing, it's gone off the rails. It's gone completely off the rails. So to answer to your question, I want to run across America to bring awareness to the fact that you have American people living in these conditions, and these conditions can be changed. You understand? They can be changed. If the government really wanted to go into the worst parts of Detroit and completely, do the whole area over, they can do that. But they're not compelled to, because they figure, well, the way I see it, well, if they want to live that way, let them live that way. Why would we spend government money to fix up the worst projects in Detroit or in Newark or in Philly or in Chicago, or wherever our people are living in these conditions? And like I said, we've been dumbed down to the nub. I talked to the kids and the youth of today, and these young musicians, and I mean, murder. Like I said, you go in the ghetto, people live with garbage. That's not normal. These kids are normalizing murder through music. That's not normal. So we've got, for me, I'm not a famous person. I wish I had the platform that some of the famous people do. I wish I had, so I'm going to create my own platform through this run. So this conversation that we're having now, we can have with everybody, because then now people will pay attention. You understand? Because I'm not on this mission for me. I'm trying to bring awareness to something that's going to better our people, this country, not just Black people. And another thing, this isn't just about Black people. We're American. We're American. You understand? Most of the people in the ghettos, though, are Black and brown people. So, and nothing's being done about that. And I'll say it again, and I'll say it to Joe Biden, that if Black people lived in these areas, there's no way that this country, if white people lived in these areas, there's no way that this country would allow some of the worst ghettos you see in Detroit, Baltimore, wherever they would not allow white people to live this way. You understand? And so there's two sides to this. We can't blame everything on white people and the government. We have our responsibility too as a people. Feel me? We have to also recognize where we are and change our culture. I'm sorry, because I get really, I'm very emotional and about this, and compassionate and passionate about this, because I believe in my heart that some people believe, some of people are, you're crazy, you can't change these type of things, it can't happen. If you got enough money, we maybe can't sprout wings and fly, but if you got enough money, you can transform a whole neighborhood. With enough money, you can do just about anything humanly possible. That's why I'm going after $1 billion.
So with that being said, if we say, hey, we get the money, we have the money, what are some of the things that you want to change in the ghetto area? Or in those areas?
Well, like I said, the environment. If, for instance, I do the run, we have $1 billion, and say the government puts in $1 billion. All right, we're going to go into Detroit. We're going to the worst areas of Detroit. Now, I want to transform the whole area, not just 1 or 2 blocks. We need the entire, we need this whole neighborhood transformed. You understand? So that's why that kind of money is needed. We need new curbs. We need new streets. We need everything new.
So
Now,
I know, for instance, my old neighborhood, and it's just happened like the other day. One of our, the block that I grew up on, there's now 4 spaces, a whole space where 4 houses used to be. They're no longer there. My house just got torn down the other day, just gotten flattened out. There's just ground now. And there's nothing there. And so the house that I lived in for 18 years no longer exists. And when you say transform, now in that area, they're building a plant. A new plant is coming. And so in that area, I'm like, okay, so this whole area over here is now being built or rebuilt, for a plant. What are they going to do with the neighborhoods that's over there? Are they going to do the streets over? Are they going to do just to uplift over there? So other people, not only just people in the city, but if you're trying to attract other people to be safe in that area now because you're in the neighborhood. So again, these things, we need it, and we need, other people to come aboard to help you, to run with you, not just run by yourself. These things have to be on a higher scale, whether it's going on the Today Show, all these different shows to tell people what you're trying to do. Again, when it comes to inner city things, is a lot of times we look for help from somewhere else when the help should start with us in the inner city first and then venture out. Now, yes, I commend you for, the idea of getting the opportunity to get back to the village. I was born and raised in the village. The young man I just had on before, we grew up in church. Well, I'm older than him, but however, the church, our school, our family, our neighborhood was the village. It was no longer, like my mom just said the other day, if my neighbor had the sugar or whatever the case may be, I can go to my neighbor and borrow. Or we would all, since we were all in kind of the same kind of age range, or we all kind of went to the same school, our parents would get together and do carpooling. Our parents had days when they would get everybody in the car to go to school, walk to school, or get dropped off. However, our neighborhood cared about one another, even into this day. With there's new generation of kids that had kids, they're still there, some of them. And we grew up with the fact that we didn't just have one set of parents. I had plenty.
that's right.
If I did something down the street, that parent had the right to whoop me. Then I'm gonna get home and get whooped. And then if my grandma found out about it, that was another issue. My mom was taking me to the church and have a meeting with my Sunday school teacher. My pastor knew. So it was accountability around the whole thing of me growing up and the decisions I made to just say, I don't want to disappoint all of these people because it's not just me, it's my village that I represent. So we have to go back into that that idea, that pride to be saying, okay, not only did you grow up on this block, this area, you made it and you came back, you show love to the whole area. This is what we need, to take back not only our music, not only our interests, not just because it's sports, but our education. Um, my parents were both middle class. My mom was an RN nurse for 24 years. My dad worked until he wasn't able to. And my parents was no, C's, D's, E's, and F's, whatever is not acceptable here. And B's definitely, you were skating. My mother made sure that, again, education was first. You can't play sports, you can't do anything extra if you're not taking care of business. And so I took that on as an adult, same thing. And so we do have to, as the elders of the community, to get back in. Don't give up. Don't put it on Al Sharpton or whoever the governor is and all of that. We all have to take a part back into giving back. Our kids don't even know how to jump rope, play hopscotch.
The generation, if you listen to the rappers, we came up in our family, ain't no stopping us now era. This past 35 years, when you listen to rappers, all you hear is I. Everything has become I. There's no more longer we. And you can't have a village spirit with an I mentality. You understand? Our mission, me and Wally talk about it all the time because, we can fix up, we can do all that. But now, what about, there's a lot of mental things that's going on that has happened to us. So that, there's a whole lot more to it than, like I said, just cosmetically fixing up the environment. We have to address the mental instability that's happening in our community. We have to rebuild that spirit, like you said, of community. It has to be rebuilt. Nobody's showing our people that, Camilla. We had leaders. I'm old enough. Martin Luther King I was 10 years old when he got killed. I can remember it as if it was yesterday. It changed my life. That's why I am the way I am now. Why I'm willing to leave my home. This run could take me 2 years. I want to go around the entire country. It could take me 2 years to do. And while I'm thinking about it, I'm glad I hope I can come on again because I need somebody to help me. I need to get on The View. I need to get on some of these shows. Somebody needs to hear me because, there's several ways I could do. I could start running, but I want to make this out of an American story. I want people to know that I'm coming. I want to build this up. I want people to understand why I'm doing this. That's why I want Nike. I want Nike sponsorship. Why Nike? Well, I feel like they owe us. Not in the sense that they don't owe anybody, but our people have helped Nike become Nike. You understand? And they got more money than anybody. So if anybody could sponsor something like this, it would be somebody like Nike. So that's what I'm going after. I'm glad that you're giving me this opportunity because, like I said, only in God's eyes, we're all somebody in God's eyes. But in this superficial world that we live in, if you're not famous, nobody's paying attention to you. If you're not doing something goofy, off the wall, nobody's paying attention to you. So I'm going to go to this extreme because I want people to pay attention to what I'm about to do. Not just for our people, like I said, we're Americans. Like we're Americans. Where they just tore down your house. Yeah, like you said, they can build a plant. Hopefully the people in the community will get the job. You know what I mean? But like you said, they'll put a plant there, but what are they going to do with the rest of the community? Are they going to leave it that way? You understand? So, and we don't, like I said, this is a protest run. We don't have anybody making an issue out of these type of things that we're talking about. This music thing, I'm going after. I need this platform because, you know, like I said, I produce, and I have a lot of rap, hip hop people that I know, and not into it too much, especially today's hip hop. But I pay attention to what's going on, and like I said, a mentality has been created, and they're using the entertainment industry, the music, to literally there's a slow motion genocide going on. Because every week, just in the past month, a rapper has been killed every week in the past month. You understand? They got videos out where 200 rappers have died, so-called rappers, half of these people don't know who they are dying a year. These are supposed to be artists and music. You understand? There's something dreadfully wrong with that. And we're not paying attention. Now, you know, they go into the ghetto, they find the poorest kids, they say, all right, you're willing to say this? You're willing to hold the guns up and promote the gang lifestyle? Okay, we're gonna give you $1 million to continue that. This kid is poor. He's gonna take it. And this is what's going on. We have a slow genocide and it's being funded by the record companies. I'm going after them hard. The FCC, these record companies. And like I was about to say, I get a lot of flack from the rappers because they don't have to take the money. But I guess when you're poor, I've never been poor like yourself. I grew up in a middle class environment. You know what I mean? We weren't poor. I've had a great upbringing, a great life. I don't know what it's like we had lean times, but I don't know what it's like to be starving. You know what I mean? I don't know what it's like I step out my door and like when I talk to the kids that live in the ghetto, I ask them, I say, well, what's your problem? And the first thing they say is, well, look where I live at. You know, let alone my father's in jail, my mother's a crackhead. Look where I live at. You understand? So it's like there's no hope at all. We have to upgrade the village. Our first conversation, we talked about the village. I couldn't wait for this because the village is in tatters. Our village is in tatters. And I also want to get like I said, our people engaged, people my age. People of every generation need to be engaged in this mission. Not just young people, people of this era, people of my era. We have to stay engaged. These kids, they need us. They don't have any leaders. I talk to these young kids, the ones that are responsible. They tell me, so we don't have any leaders. They don't look up to Jay-Z. They don't look up to LeBron James. They really don't. Not in the way that they should. They admire them for being famous, but they don't admire them for inspiring them to be great or to be like the young man that you just had on. We need more young men like him. Got enough rappers and basketball players, and we need more engineers and architects and lawyers and doctors. Understand? I'm a musician, and you know, right now it's hard. I can't even find someone to sing. I got 1,000 tracks in my computer, but it's hard finding kids that want to sing. They don't want to rap. That's another part of my mission, kind of getting us. There's so many things involved in what this run. And a lot of it, we have to change our culture of thinking. This, like I said, when you look at what's happening with this drill music and this murder music, that's a cultural thing. You understand? It has become a part of our culture. That's not normal. Living with garbage, walking past that garbage every day has become normal to a lot of people. Not. So, there has to be, for me, everything I do, I try to have a purpose. I don't have to care. I'm 63 years old. I have to care anymore. I've had a good life. I could just skate the rest of the way. I'm not going to do that. If God allows me to have the years that my father had. He just passed. He was 86 years old. 25 years. God allows me to live. This is my mission for the rest of my life, is to try to do something that's going to leave something for our future generations. 100 years, when we're long gone from here, somebody got to start doing something now. Because these rappers that got they're making billions of dollars and stuff, they're doing nothing. Nothing. You hear about certain little things they might be doing in their community. No, when I get my billion, I'm coming to Detroit. I want the entire area. I'm not building just a community, you understand, or a playground. No, we're gonna knock down everything, and we're gonna build this place up from the bottom up, street, curbs, everything. And with enough money, you can do these things. Oh, that's impossible, Don. No, it's not. What's impossible is me sprouting wings and flying. That's impossible. But getting enough money to transform Detroit, to transform Philadelphia, to transform Newark, Chicago, anywhere where there's a so-called ghetto, all it takes is money. That's all. Enough money. And that's something the government's not giving us. I'm doing a run. You watch, I get to do this run. Joe Biden is a jogger. And I believe in my heart that Joe Biden is a president that really wants to try to even his playing field. And while we have him, because this government, this American politics is so tricky, while we have him, I want to get this running because I know he's going to be interested in it for two reasons. He's a jogger, and we're trying to improve America. We're trying to improve America. This is not just about Black people. This is about American people. That's another thing, I don't want this to be just a Black thing. No, this is an American. That's what we talk about. This is American ghetto. Not just ghetto, it's American ghetto. And you watch, God willing, it happens. Joe Biden is going to jump on it. This government is going to want, I'm trying to get $1 billion, match me with another $1 billion. So when we go into Detroit, we're not messing around. We can take a whole community and say, listen, we're gonna put y'all up for 2 years, and we're gonna knock everything down and start over. We're gonna fix this up, and we're gonna teach y'all how to live here. You can't come back here and start throwing garbage around. You can't come back here and tear up. You understand? I've seen it happen. I've seen our people. I've seen cities completely do projects over. And within 10 years, they're like they were. Mm-hmm. You understand? Because the mentality, you change the environment, but you didn't change the mentality. So we have a two-pronged mission here. We can't just change the environment. We have to also change the mentality of the people that are now accepting living with garbage. You go to your old neighborhood, I'm in the worst parts of Detroit. You look around, you see garbage. I mean, and people walk past it, and like I said, just live with it like, well, nobody's calling the mayor and telling them to get over here and clean up this place. Because we have gotten dumbed down to the nub, to the point where people can't walk past this garbage all across this country. Our people, it's just horrible. It's just horrible. And it has to change. And nobody's going to tell me it can't. Nobody's going to tell me it can't. With enough money, you can do just about anything in this country. That's why I'm going for $1 billion. My first target is $1 billion. Not a million, $1 billion. Because this is a massive undertaking. This is going to require the kind of money that they take to fly into the space and all kind of foolishness they're doing with money. That same money, billions of dollars, could be creating a whole new environment and raising now we have a village, now we can raise a better grade of people. And I don't want to sound condescending to our people that live in the inner city. I'm from in the inner cities. Like I said, everybody's not I guess, meant to be wealthy. Everybody's maybe not even meant to live a second class life. Some people are just regular people. The destiny is to live in these places. But do these places have to be dirty and filthy? No. Even the lowest income of places. Me and Wally the other day, we were talking about this, and he went online. I said, Wally, look up the projects in somewhere in Wisconsin. And he sent me a whole bunch of pictures of projects in places where hardly where black people live. Their projects were like regular apartment complexes. No garbage, grass is green. You understand? Our projects look like projects. No grass, dirt, street, so what's the difference? I don't think white people care about being clean or want their environment clean any more than we do. The problem, what has happened to us, and they're doing it right now through the music and through. Listen, Camilla, this hip hop era that we've been in for the past 30 years, I'm going to be glad when it passes. Every era has to pass, and this era is time for it to go. Why do I say that? Look what's happening.
I think on some levels, it's some things were passed down. And I think right now it is a place where we have to get our hope back. I think as a whole, I think some areas were definitely disappointed and they're still stuck in survival mode versus living. There's a difference. And so, again, when you're in that place of how you were raised, your mentality, some people came from that and decided when I get to a certain age, I won't live like this and left. There's the whole thing with, you go to certain neighborhoods, they're still doing the same thing they did 20 years ago. And you like, how and why? It's a mental thing. It's when you don't want to do better, you're not going to do better. One thing that it might be funny to other people, but I'm not satisfied. I'm always wanting to improve. I want to be a better version of me. I want to outdo what my parents did. I want to be the one that I say, I went back. Me and my mom have the joke. She says I owe her 18-foot trailer truck full of things. And she wants a Corvette. And so she'll always say, when Christmas time comes, is my truck out there? Is my, my Corvette there? And that always stuck in the back of my head. She might be joking, but at the end of the day, I want to give my mama great things. I don't want her to live where she's living. I'm not satisfied here. So why would I settle with stopping to be better? It's an individual thing. It's a mental thing. It's what's in you. You want to do better. Do I reach for the stars? Absolutely. Do I want to go past the stars? Absolutely. Is there an ending? No. God says, speak those things as though they were, right? He said, write the vision, make it plain, right? God is big. So why should my ideas, my visions be small? No. What you're saying, is it impossible? No. And if God gave you the vision, guess what? Is God the provider or what? Will he make ways out of no way? Of course he will. So it has to be the training, the mentality. When we come in, we training everybody. We redoing everything. So when the wealth do come, we know how to handle it. We know how to pass on wealth, not debts, wealth. Being educated on a lot of things that was not told to us. So it's just not a class thing. It's not just a training. It's just not a cosmetic thing. It has to be a whole generational, that once I get this, once I leave, I can pass on wealth to my children, my children's children.
Right.
It's not about the clothes. It's not about the shoes. My mom, even though she could have bought higher, she didn't. We were raised on what? Kmart, Target, all of these things. Long as my clothes was clean, I did not care. Long as my mom was like, long as your clothes don't have holes in them. And some after a while, the style was putting holes in your clothes and putting patches in them. That was the style, okay. But after a while, some things you just got to grow up from.
That's
and
right.
then sometimes the who you hang around, who you be with, just like the young man said, I had an opportunity to have mentors that taught me. When I had questions or I was frustrated about certain things, I had somebody to go to ask questions. Teach me. You always got to be, even at this age, I'm always a student. I'm always open to listening. Even though I'm not into rap, I know a lot of rap artists. I know a lot of people that I will be rubbing elbows with. I don't agree with everything that they say or do. But at the end of the day, that's my choice if I want to listen to what they're saying. I didn't like rap because I didn't understand what they were talking about, for one. And then two, that wasn't my lifestyle or my mentality. I like the beats, but that was it. But for somebody else, that's all they feel like they can do. But with anything, would it rather it be rap, education, it's what you say when you have that platform.
That's right.
So
That's right. That's
when we
right.
get back to bringing the arts back into school, they'll have more to do, more to say, more to understand that they're more creative than just that. When I look outside my window, the first thing I think of is shooting somebody. That's not me, never have been and never will be. But again, it's a lot of it's not just one thing, it's not just two things, it's a lot of things. So this run will be good because it's bringing awareness, like you said, but it's also bringing in accountability. It's also bringing in back into, this is our home. We're not going to let anybody come in and trash our home. That's the rule, the cardinal rule. If you have company, I wish you would let somebody come in and destroy your stuff. What? You gonna get it and they will never be able to come over again.
That's right. You said it all. Like the key word is mental. Everything starts from the brain. Everything that we do, everything we talk, everything that we do, when you just turned your head, that thought started in your head first. And that's a big part of this. Like when I say we've been dumbed down to the nub, to the point where we're accepting murder music, we accept living in environments that's just trash. And so we have to work on, like I said, we can cosmetically, superficially change the environment, but if we don't mentally change the people, it's going to go back to being what it was. So all that's a part. I have 5 mentoring programs that goes along with it. I have a music program, a live music university, I want to call it. I want to reintroduce this generation back to playing instruments. You can't even name a band. You can't even name a band, black band now. I'm talking about current, other than the Roots. People always bring up the Roots. Them guys 50 years old. I'm talking about somebody new. You can't even think of one. Because, see, me being a musician and paying attention to, not just a musician, an entertainer and artist, and paying attention to that world is being used. You understand, that world is being used to dumb us down. this drill music. Someone brought to my attention, when you hear this music, the low frequency music, low frequency music appeals to our lower instinct. And that's what a lot of this drill music with the, the 808 kick sounds and the boom, 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 all this, and it's true. We were listening to music, ain't no stop music, higher energy, and it made sense to me. It's higher frequency. This, do you think, for instance, the young man that got murdered in Chicago, the rapper FBG Duck, last summer, they shot him down on I don't know if you heard about it, in the middle of Chicago, on the Gold Coast. He got shot, he got killed in broad daylight. Anyway, this drill thing going on in Chicago with this music, and he disrespected some guys, and they shot him up on the Gold Coast. I'm talking about the Fifth Avenue of Chicago. Now, Sony Records was just about to give him $1.7 million. And I don't know how much research you're doing this, but just do a little research and check out the drill scene and what's going on with these rappers, particularly from Chicago. But I mean, guns, everything is based on guns and gangs. That's all it is. And Sony Records was just about to give this young man $1.7 million to continue to spread the foolishness. He didn't live to see that money because he did he disrespected a diss song, whatever they're doing. These guys, they murdered him in broad daylight in the middle of Chicago last summer. You understand? This is a mentality. Like I said, I'm not an elder that's not talking to the youth, and that's not involved. I have young kids, I have grandkids. I'm paying attention to what they're saying. And it has got to where, Camilla, they are literally, just like our people have accepted living with garbage, they're accepting this murderous mentality. So the key thing that you said is we can fix all the cosmetic stuff, but if we don't fix us mentally, it's just going to go back to what it was. So that's a big part of it. We're not just going to come in and fix everything up. We got to have mental health facilities. We're going to have to, we at Wiley Call, we got to reprogram our people. We need to be reprogrammed in America. You understand? Because right now, like I said, they're using the media. All these kids running around here drilling and robbing each other and all they're doing. They think that's normal. This is what they see. This is what they see, and it's not normal.
Well, I know eventually, I know the time goes past so fast when you're talking for an hour, but it's going to be something that there's plenty of social media buzz, is emailing, is all types of stuff to get the attention to who you need to get to. And with the connections you already have to be able to speak in front of who you need to be speaking in front of. And I know for sure the money will come. What needs to be out here it will happen. It's just, strategic. And I'm glad that you shared this with me and with our people. So those who are on, please like and share the video. Support Mr. Givens on his effort to actually get out here and run for America, to show awareness to our ghettos, and to get us help in all the areas we need to make sure that we're putting out great product, both in the music world, both on the art side, as well as the person. And so I'm appreciative that this elder of his community has spoken. And so as someone who's open-minded, a student of the elders, I'm looking forward to seeing this into fruition. Of course, keep praying on it, keep getting direction from the man on high, see what he says, give you the directions on what to do and how to do. And I know that this will happen. So again, thank you, sir, for coming on and sharing your passion with us. And of course, again, the closer we get to that time frame, I know you're going to come back on. Hopefully, I'll be on the TV that will be able to make sure that this run happens.
I thank you so much, and I appreciate you, Camilla. And I know we're going to talk again. And in any way, you know, like I said, this is a start, and I really appreciate it. I thank you so much for having me.
No problem. Again, I want you to enjoy the rest of your evening, and I will be talking to you soon.
Okay, you too. Thank you very much.
All right. You're welcome. Bye bye.